Well, hello. In this video, what we're going to do is have an assistant help you book appointments, meetings, and so forth through a virtual AI voice agent. And so if you're a founder, especially a solo founder, who doesn't have a lot of resources and people to help him, you need an assistant, right? And so this video is about that. This video is about how you can develop a AI assistant, a voice assistant that can manage all your calendars and make bookings so you don't miss any opportunities to come to through your website or whatever channel you use. In this case, I built it and I added an as example on my website. You can see a little icon here. I'm going to walk you through how I've done it and share any other links that are most appropriate. But so this is all about my sort of a service, right? A GTM growth service. Let's call the and you can use your mobile to call directly if there's a number there, and we will show you how you can set that up as well. But let's just make a booking. Skip to the chase. So always I'm going to use the my mobile, and it's going to call. There it is. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen. Okay, let's see. It's calling, I guess. It's calling.
Hello, this is Chloe from GTM Sprint. How can I help you today?
Hi, Chloe. Can I just want to really understand in a few minutes what's the GTM program about?
Absolutely. Happy to give you a quick overview. GTM Sprint is a hands-on 4-6-week program for solo founders and small B2B teams. The goal is to help you clarify who you're selling to, sharpen your messaging, and build a simple, repeatable go-to-market system that actually generates pipeline fast. Instead of long strategy decks, it's focused on practical things like your ICP, offer, outbound, and content, so you can start getting more qualified conversations within weeks, not months. Would you like to share what you're working on or your main GTM challenge? That way I can explain how the sprint might fit your situation.
Yeah, I would love to. Can you just walk me through who's Frankie?
Of course. Frankie is the founder behind GTM Sprint. He's a highly entrepreneurial, data-driven marketing and demand generation leader with deep experience in SaaS, AI, and growth. A few highlights. He helped set up Coca-Cola's first startup accelerator, working with founders globally. He co-founded Hivery, a data science company using AI to help retailers optimize their space. He's led GTM and marketing for multiple tech companies and now focuses on helping founders build practical, hands-on GTM systems, not just strategy slides. If you want, I can share more about his background or how he works with founders. Would you like to talk about your own GTM challenge next?
Yeah, but can I make a booking? Quick one.
Absolutely. You can book a quick call with Frankie. Just go to meet.gtmsprint. Run. That's meet.gtmsprint.run. Pick a time that works for you and confirm your details. If you'd like, I can also help you find a slot.
Yeah, can you help me find availability?
Definitely, I can help you with that. What's your preferred date and time for the call? I'll check Frankie's availability and suggest a few options for you.
How about January the 22nd?
January 22nd isn't available, but January 23rd is wide open.
Okay.
I can offer you 8 a.m., 12 p.m., or 3 p.m. on the 23rd. Do any of those work for you?
Yeah, 23rd, 8 a.m. Great.
Great. I'll book you in for January 23rd at 8 a.m. Could you please share your best email and phone number to confirm the booking?
It's Frankie, F-R-I-N-K-I, Chamaki, C-H-A-M-A-K-I @gmail.com.
Yeah. Thanks, Frankie. And what's the best phone number to reach you for the booking confirmation?
0409 2233.
Cool.
Is that all?
Yes, that's all set. Your call with Frankie is booked for January 23rd at 8 a.m. You'll get a confirmation email shortly. If you have any other questions, just let us know. Okay. Have a great day.
Bye. Okay, so that's gone through. So now we just have to wait until it comes through in an email, but it should book the meeting. Now this is an outbound example, okay, and so we're going to walk you through how this, and then we'll come back in terms of actually coming in through my Gmail because that's where I said, and let's see how that would work out. But it's pretty amazing, even the background noise you notice. So what was happening here? So if I go back here, this is the flow. So it's a web presence, book a call, callback. An agent has actually initiated the conversation and qualified. Remember, it was qualifying me. What kind of, what do you want to talk about? And oh, there it is. It came through. There's my appointment booked in. So it should a refresh here as well. Let me just refresh that. Now, come on, it's refreshed. Okay, we'll load, but it came through. My booking came through there. So what's happening here? So the agent I'm using here, and I expect you is Retell AI. I'm going to walk you through that quickly, what that looks like, and how you set that up. Very simple, and you can, if you get lost, you can always chat GPT or Gemini to help you through that. Going back to the flow, then we use the brain where it brings everything together. So we have two sort of what they call webhooks. One that checks availability, and the second one, as you saw there, making appointments in my calendar, and also you saw that email that come through, and there is my appointment there. You see, it came through a GTM title. So it came through. I didn't do anything. I had like a conversation with an AI agent that did it completely. So that's all that action that occurred was happening in N88, which is an automation software that helps you hook things together. And then it connected everything using the brain, and also in the I use ChatGPT model to actually coordinate everything. But if you go back to here, it looked at my availability and it booked it. It sent me an email, and it gave me a confirmation. So imagine this in your business as a solo founder trying to scale. You can actually have an outbound agent if you wanted to. So let's go back into step by step. So we know the website. So there it is, and that's a widget that I just added in. And next thing is how do you actually set up the agent? Again, there are many videos about this, and so I encourage you to go and go deep dive into it. But I want to give you an overview, because if I go really deep, then it will be a long video. But essentially, you create an agent. So you create an agent, and I'll go to the highlights. Here's the agent, and here's the prompt. So if I go into the little bit detail, again, a lot of this stuff is I just extracted from the model. I'm saying I just gave my model, I'm sorry, my OpenAI or ChatGPT instructions. Can you create and prompt for my agent in Retell AI? And it gave me a detailed prompt. So you can pause this if you wanted to copy this. I'm going to scroll down slowly so you can actually screenshot and use it if you wanted to. But what the key highlights, and this is for you as you're building this out to remind yourself. So I'm going to scroll down, and it just basically covers who I'm targeting. It qualifies the user, tries to find out if it's a SaaS or not SaaS. These are the things that I'm looking for, and then these are the conversation flows. The conversation flows will initiate a function, and that's the most important. So this is the flow. There's a backup here. So if people can't interact with the thing, they can actually go to a meet, my URL to book a meeting directly, and so forth. The rest is basically interactions that I spoke about, where I can actually do functions such as transfer, end call, which is important because you want to end call, and also send SMS. But these are the functions that create hooks, the appointments and availability, and they are embedded in the conversation here. So if I go into go here, um, appointment. So this is all the scheduling instructions. So this all takes, and then the last one is just call to action. So each, you can see here, the call action, end call, appointments. You can see here, check availability. So it's basically creating a prompt that links function to, and this function is then linked to your automation software. So in this case, N88. I can never say that right. N N N8N. Okay, and then, but I want to go through, like I said, some of the highlights. So see here AI. This is what. So once you set up your prompt, again, detail of whatever business you are, SaaS, whatever you are, detail prompt of what you're trying to achieve and what you want the objective of the agent. And again, um, I've scrolled down slowly, and I can you can, if you want, just send me a message and a comment, and I'll post it to you. But I used a ChatGPT in this case to actually help me craft it. Okay, so now once you go through here, you want the agent to speak first. You want to have a custom message when they call. You saw that custom message. Yeah, so I said hello. You can actually make it dynamic if you wanted to. You can make it dynamic, but I didn't want to. I just want to, every time when it speaks is Chloe, and Chloe is going to be my assistant. Now, these are the most important of all the stuff. It is the functions that are embedded into the conversation because it knows where to go. So you need to always have an encore, and you just basically you put an encore and just describe what this says. Goodbye, just describe what that is. Again, it's on a deep dive of Retell AI because there are a lot of, and I'll set some links to you of founders, sorry, of YouTubers that cover this in detail. But I wanted to cover off the links so you get conceptually, how it all hangs together. Yeah. So I created a knowledge base. So you can add in particular knowledges. In this case, I've added my websites, but you can upload other documents if you wanted to validate stuff. And that's again another very simple adding content. So here I added my website. That's why knew me, and I also asked it to scan various platforms about me to enrich its knowledge. Okay, so that's one key thing to. So I'm going to talk about functions soon, but knowledge. The other one is that you notice in the setting, where is my settings? I set these are type of settings that would impact conversation flow. So wait for silence, ability to interrupt, how many rings. If you do it too quick, it feels kind of awkward, right? Because like, was it waiting for me? You want it to ring out like they're busy and stuff. This is all customized. And again, like I said, you can look at the text here. It tells you about the um, the description. What is cool, and I found this is you saw in the background there's like a coffee. So I actually you can set a coffee scene. You can call out. You can do a call center scene or have none. But I just put in a coffee scene to make it more vibrant. The vibrant background content. This is the responsiveness, how far, this is the disruption, so how sensitive you want it to be. So you can stop that person, the agent talking, you can say, hey, I just need quick appointment. And, you can interrupt that. And then you can test it. So now the functions. So this is most important where it connects to the brain. So there's two. I remember this one here is a book appointments, and I just described it. Here is a post. This is where it goes to my 888 platform. And again, there are a lot of them covering it, but when you're sending out the post, this is making appointment. What do you need to? There's a section here of parameters that you want to send the details of the post. You want to capture their name, time they want, the service they want, what kind of GTM, and the email. I even got that spelled wrong, but it still worked. So these are the instruction strings that will appear in N8 when you do the mapping. Okay, and so that's how it connects everything. So these are the things that I'm going to post in this conversation. These are the things that are most important to make that booking happen. So I'm going to cancel this one. So here is availability. This is the first thing you did, right? So again, it's a post. It'll go to my 8N, which we'll cover it soon, and we'll look at these. All it needs to understand to check availability is time, right? So that's the only thing that you want to send. So again, I won't go cover this in detail. I want to give you the function and in principle so you understand in concept what's happening. And there are a lot of videos about how to set this up in particular. You can add other form parameters if you want, like strings, and it will appear in ADA now. So going back to, so now we've set up in principle the agent and how it engages. You want it to speak first. We've done some functions, encore to end the call. Make sure you give some instructions. You can send an SMS to me. In this case, we'll send a message back to me. Say this is done as well. But the most important from a booking perspective, you're making calls as an agent or as an your assistant, is making about checking availability, making sure you double the book and appointments. Okay, so let's go into in terms of availability. So that is the flow it goes through. So this is the webhook, and when you create a webhook, you just create and again, I won't go into this detail because, like I said, there's you just you literally create a webhook. It's not nothing. You added a webhook and I just dragged it in, and all you need to do is create that URL. It automatically creates the URL. The When you're testing it, so when you're testing, you go immediately. But when you finish testing it, you put a response because you want to go into the live site. So when you finish testing, and you need to test one sequence because you need the data variables to plug it into your customization. Again, I'll go quickly summarize that for you. So that's the webhook. Then this is the URL. You just simply you see that, copy it, and you paste it into Retell. Again, it's getting 15 minutes. I don't want to go too fast. There's a lot of cover. Then what I do is create the agent. The agent here. Again, you can copy this, but there's a lot of people out there that have these instructions for the agent to take a look at the time, look at the response. But this is the data it's going to extract out for the remaining of the rest down the flow. And then it's going to, I've used OpenAI. So I said, hey, this is the model I want it to work. You can go higher. You can select different types of models if you want. The cheapest model possible. You can go more sophisticated if you want. It's more complicated. Then you create. Then you do your connections for this agent to check the availability. It needs access to your Gmail, right? And so that's what I did. I connect to my Gmail. I said automatically the resources. There's a calendar resource. This is my email that you saw came through. And in terms of time and end time, I let the AI decide. So when it makes conversations, it did it by itself. Okay, so that's pretty simple. Again, a lot of videos out there that covers this in more in detail. I want to give you an overview. No video that gives you a quick overview. Okay, so that's the all this agent does, and sends it back to Retell AI. The next one is the booking, a little bit more complicated, but just a quick hack. What you can do is you go here, remember, is clone this, replicate this. So all you have to do is change the parameters. So you can keep this stuff. That's what I did, is just to spend time because I don't want to reconnect everything and so forth. So just replicate and then edit. So all you're doing, you're removing a couple of things and saying, this again will be a new one, which is the outbound. So this is about booking, booking the agent. This is booking. So again, ChatGPT, same model, same process. Only thing is I've changed the instructions. You can see here, you're a booking agent now. So one was a checking agent. This is a booking agent. It looks at the current time to make sure, and then this is this is the most important aspect of this data is then sent over into the following conversation. This sort of script um, uh, uh, instructions I get. No, instructions is a better way. Again, there's a lot of out there that covers this in more detail, but I want to give you the overview. Okay, so once this is set up, I've got my instructions for the parameters. Let me see if I show you what I mean by that. Say this. I need to. I'll show you later. I'll show you later. Because I don't want to make this video too long. And then once it looks at and books it, it sends the email. And this is just basically, you can see the strings here. So this is again, I set up my email. In this case, it's going to be a create a message and send that message. So if I go into the webhook, so you see, where is it? Am I going to, this is my, well, one second, I'll just find it for you. Let's pause. Okay, so I'm going to go into one of the execution ones, and I'm going to go into one of the bigger ones here. That's a good one. Okay, so this is being, I want to show you the background, how it all maps out together. And so if I go into the Gmail, which sends, sends the email. So you can, this is the whole history of the conversation. You can see this is a hello. You can see this is all, this is the body of the conversation that happened, the transcript. And because we specified into the model these parameters, these are the ones we want to extract out into to making the bookings and so forth. Okay, so if I go into the key one, these are the ones, you see these? These are the ones that name, time. These are the ones that actually appear here, name, time. Okay, so I just want to make just save this. um, th- that's the most important connection I want to on. So you can, even the spelling is right there, but it doesn't matter. They're labels. But what you do when in the email, you can actually, if I go, this is the message, for example, or the subject header, and this is where the customization happens a lot. So if I go into name, the booking, so I can drag, check availability. So I can drag. Okay, this is already executed because I can't drag. But you drag when you're building this out. That's how you run the test. This is why it's important to run the test. So when I say test, you go into you run the test in the first flow to gives you some data, so if you go here, and when you create it the first time, you run the execute and look for, say, test URL. So all you have to do in that case, again, I'll get a here. That's the test URL. You'll listen, and you can run that test through back here, get a here, run the test here. You run the test and it goes through, but you need to also update this URL because this at the moment is a production URL. What you do is replace back to the, where are we? This URL, the test URL. And then once you have data feeding into N88, N8N, then you can compose your variables. And in this case, is saying, okay, I'm going to drag the name, the email address, and so forth to prepare either the calendar invite, calendar entry, and email. Okay, and I remember getting now 20 minutes over. That's why, but this is all covered in a lot of videos. Okay, in terms of how I'll go back to my flow. Get out here, here, here. Okay, okay. So now the question is, how did you put it in the website, right? So once you finish with once you finish with preparing your agent, okay, let me get back here. When you publish your agent, and in the agent you publish, and again, I've got to go tell you quickly about, because this is the most important as well. I'm giving you highlights. The most important is you purchase a phone. All, by the way, all this is free for the first. You can see here credit. You get $10 free credit, which is more than enough for you to build and experiment and test. So this is the agent. Once I create the agent, I'm going to have to give it a phone number. And you can create an agent. You can upload previous ones. If you have already ones, you can upload that, or you just find one. Hello, telex. I just use telex. So I just created. I just selected a number that in San Francisco, because I want to be in US based. In an example, and I applied it for inbound. You can see here inbound calls and outbound calls. That's much more, and you need to verify. So you need to upload your photo ID because you don't want to be spammed. This is, that's the whole. So you need to verify. They're the most important stuff, is finding a number, because it's a voice agent, it's a telephone agent, and verifying that your identity, so it doesn't create spam. Okay, and that's, then once you set that up, that's the most important, for you to apply that. You can create the agent, buy your number, and apply that number to your agent. So once you have that and you published it, so back to here. So I've got my number, I've got my workflow all connected. So I've got this, I've got my prompt, I've got my functions. So and they're all embedded into the prompt. So I know what to do. I've got my knowledge base. I've updated my settings in terms of offers and speed and responsiveness. All that's been set up. And next phase is, well, how do you, once you publish it, so how do you present this? There's a documentation. Again, you can use ChatGPT, say, really, copy this, and paste it into ChatGPT and say, ask to fill this in. But essentially, most important is the public key. So if you go in here, your ChatGPT will ask you, or Gemini will ask you, hey, you need to create a public key, and that's in your setting. When get here, settings, and you just create a new public key, and set a new public key, and apply that, and give it to ChatGPT to complete the widget. In this case, I want to do widget because I'm replicating that, right? You paste that widget into your, whatever website you have. So in this case, in the background, this is I'm using Google Cloud, and I built it on Google Cloud, and I pasted it into the header, just below the header, and then the pieces are floating. Just customize it, because you can customize that. Um, you can customize the widget slightly. Where are you? You can customize. You can see here in terms of the prompt name, the color, and so forth. Okay, so there you go. Now we're coming to 25 minutes already in this video. So this is just a summary of what we did. The summary, and if I can come back to the flow, is that we created an agent to scale solo founders' ability to make bookings or outbound. This is just inbound, okay? So this is an example of inbound. We created we have our website. We got a callback click function. I can actually use call. I can actually, if I have the number, I can call that number and have a meeting. It knew a lot. This agent knew a lot about it tries to qualify. You can see that qualify. It can send, transfer. It makes the bookings. It's the voice. It's the personality of my brain in a way, right? And then when you use a platform like Make or N88, N8 N8N to actually bring it together with those webhooks, which are super important to enable those connections between your Gmail, your calendar, and so forth. And that's all. You got your calendars, your emails, and the natural language, and we can customize a lot of that. You saw that the coffee background and so forth. Whoa, okay. So that was it. So this is about helping founders and use technology in a simple way. And I just, like I said, I posted into my website. You can use it today. Okay, I don't know if it's going to run out of credit or not, but you can use it today and test it for yourself. But that's a lot where you can, as a founder, as a solo founder, you can actually now scale yourself using virtual agents, in this case, voice agents, to make bookings, check bookings, to do outbound. You can actually create one that does, if you can upload a list of contacts you want to do. This is mostly for SaaS companies that are B2B, but B2C actually, because you've only got that scale, you really want to. But for inbound, that's good. You can B2B, very inbound. Somebody calls you, you want to make a booking, and you don't want to use. And this is 24/7. I can sleep. It would start booking things for me. Okay, guys, a lot of video. You can skip through a lot of this, but I'll share some of the links that I've found useful in terms of other YouTubers that cover this topic very well, in terms of the Retell AI. Again, thank you for watching. I know it's a long video. Hopefully that was really insightful for you, and stay tuned for next video. Bye bye.